Hello, people. How are you today? I hope that you are well, and I choose to believe that you are. Um, I'm going to share with you a podcast that I recorded back in September. Well, part of it. I have edited the podcast where we're going to start in the middle of a story, and we're going to talk about why my name is Kindness. So, if you're curious, here you go. And if you haven't listened to the other podcasts, this one won't make as much sense to you as it will if you go back and start from the beginning. But you are where you are, and here you go. I was at this place in life where I was just really crying out for God to send me a partner. I wanted a partner. And I talked to a prophet that I learned about through a church, and he had said to me, a few things, but he also said to me at one point that God was going to be rearranging my name. And in one point I'd kind of taken that into my own hands, and I had kind of just maybe done what I had done what maybe a lot of us do before. People will say things to us, or God will inspire an idea inside of you, or spirit, what have you, and you just run with it, but you'll start to do your own thing, and you'll be like, yeah, well, let me just meddle a little bit, let me just use my intellect. And it's the scriptures say his way is higher than our ways, right? So sometimes we can't just start well, God said he's going to give me a partner, so it must be this person. Or, I'm going to force it to be this person, because it has to be, as opposed to, just, letting it be and letting, the right person come to you. Because that'll definitely happen, and I'll tell you guys about that in another, episode or whatever. But, chasing after, a person because you think it's the person or whatever, it just, that doesn't work. And it's the same thing with dreams and hopes and names. So anyway, God changed my name, and it really came about at this interesting place, McDonald's. And McDonald's had a little special place in my heart because my ex-husband used to work at one, and every time I passed by it, at that moment in my life, I wanted to say recently, but at that moment in my life where I was at that time, it kind of reminded me of him. And I don't know why, I just I would go through the McDonald's sometimes, and I would just pay for the person in front of me's food. Just I don't eat McDonald's, guys. I know a lot of people like it, and that's great. A lot of you guys like it, and that's cool, whatever. More power to you, but for me, not so much. But I don't know, I just had this feeling I had to go, and so I would go, and sometimes I would just go through the drive-thru, not order anything, and just say, hey, can I pay for the person in front of me's food, I just want to bless them or whatever. And so I had felt led that day to go into the McDonald's. I would like to go inside, and so here I walk inside a McDonald's, and oh my goodness gracious, there is a full-on brawl going on. They're not physically fighting, but there's just so much yelling, and you would think it's patrons, but no, it's the McDonald's employees are actually fighting amongst themselves, out in the lobby, or they're not back in the kitchen, they're out in front or whatever. And I'm oh my goodness, this is crazy. And I don't know, I just I guess it's the military in me, whatever. I just saw it, and I just jumped straight in, because I was just we have to just must diffuse a situation. And I saw one of the girls that was kind of involved in it, and I just said to her hey, can I talk to you? Can you come outside with me? And she was yeah. And then her manager stops me. He's another McDonald's guy, and he's hey, who are you? Do you know her? And I'm no, I don't know her. I just walked in here. Do you mind if we go outside and we talk? And I guess he was maybe a bit shocked by me or whatever, but he was just basically fine, go outside. So here we are, we go outside, and we're sitting on the curb, at literally outside the drive-thru, just at the McDonald's. And you know, obviously, like, she's like just literally in the middle of this fight, like with her manager. So she starts going, and she's doing this to me, and she's like being hard on me, and she's saying these things to me, and like she won't just give me a break, and this, that, and the next thing. And I just lost my grandma, and like my mom died, and like some other things. Like, it was like really, like, you know, kind of like really kind of pulled at my heartstrings, to be honest with you, like the things that were going on in her life. And for me at the time, guys, like, I had a lot going on in my life. Like, my partner at the time had kind of like, I don't know, you say like outed me, so to speak, but like sent this kind of like text message to like my whole family, just to, like, about the abuse of my brother and all these kind of things. And it was like I was really being alienated from my family, and kind of having problems in the relationship. And you know, it was just that my brother at the time had been like arrested for the abuse, and it was just a lot going on, you know. And I was in that point where I said to her, I said, listen, you know, I got a lot going on too, and I'm not saying this to you out of nothing, because obviously I walked in the middle of this fight. It's clearly a big deal. You guys are like, everybody's out the kitchen. No one's no one's getting anything at McDonald's right now. Like, it's full on meltdown at the McDonald's, you know, like that's going on right now. And so like I just started like, I kind of started sharing my heart with her a bit. And I'm like, I'm not telling you these things out of nothing. Like, I'm not telling you these things out of somebody who's coming to you from this really super high place of like, oh, everything in life is great, guys. Da 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 da. These fantastical sort of places that we sometimes see people on the internet, and they have a plane. So they're like, yeah, all you gotta do is think yourself into a plane or whatever, you know, like, I'm not coming to you from anything crazy. I'm coming to you from an everyday, I get it. Sure, yeah. I'm doing better than you. I'm, so to speak, right? Like, I'm coming in here driving an Escalade, buying food for other people. I don't really have to be there, and I'll be frank about it. I have no problem saying that I'm blessed, and I am. But also at the same time, even being blessed, like, you always have to choose joy. Like, you have to choose kindness. You have to choose patience. You know, it doesn't just boom, 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 come, right? It's not just like spiritual plateau where you get like, excuse me, the spiritual like sort of place or attainment level, the spiritual level of attainment where you get and you just feel it all the time. No, like, you have to choose it, right? Like, I in this moment, I started this saying to you, like, we're 22 minutes in, and I started saying to you, well, it's 12:44 now on the clock, and I started saying to you, you know, I'm on a like a, on the ledge, sort of. I'm perched here. I'm in this like sort of tightrope. That's how I feel. It's like a tightrope. I'm like trying to get from one place to the other without falling in the water. And in my spirit, I know I'm not falling in the water. I've seen dreams and visions, and I know that I'm not falling in the water, but also at the same time, here I am. I'm on this ledge, right? And so that's where I was at that time, even with her, at McDonald's, on the curb, with the white paint, where the drive-thru goes. Cars piling up. Nothing's moving at McDonald's right now. Like, this is where we're at. And so we started talking, and I shared a bit of my heart with her, and she shared her heart with me. And total strangers, we connected, and we decided that, you know what, we weren't going to give the manager such a hard time, because maybe the manager herself is having a hard time, and that we all just need to, like, sometimes just choose kindness. And I said to her, I used to work at Domino's, and the last thing I wanted to do was eat Domino's. Can I go, like, maybe get you something to eat, get you something else that doesn't come from McDonald's? And she told me she wanted a milkshake. Or actually, no, she said she wanted something, but she didn't know what she wanted. So I went into the manager, and I kind of talked to the manager for a minute, and I said to her, you know, let me buy you something. You know, I said the same thing to her. I said, let me buy you something that doesn't come from here. Like, let's just start this day again, and like, we don't have to fight. Like, let's not fight, you know. Oof. I'm getting kind of emotional thinking about it. I want to cry. I'm not gonna cry. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, I just didn't want them there having a bad day. It's like, I'm getting a little bit emotional about it in this moment, because, like, I just think sometimes in this life, we have so many people that are just like us, and we just want everything to be just a little bit better. Oof, excuse me. Wow. I am going to read Psalms 91, I promise. I'm going to recite it. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. I went and I ended up getting them some milkshakes from Cookout, which if you're from the Southeast, you'll know what that's about. They got like 40 flavors, it's a thing. So, excuse me. The flavors they wanted were very similar. Well, one was vanilla and one was peach. And in my mind, I thought the peach would be like peach colored, right? You know, like the outside of a peach colored, sort of like that pinky color. But after I ordered them, when the gentleman gave the drinks to me, I looked at them and I couldn't tell the difference between the vanilla and the peach. And geez Louise, I didn't want to start another fight. So I said to him, can you write something on one of them? And he goes, okay, like, you know, on the peach one or whatever. And he says, what do you want me to write? And I says, write kindness. And the way he wrote it, I don't know, you guys, it just looked like a name. It's hard for me to describe it other than that. It looked like the name that the prophet had said to me, that my name was rearranging it. And at that moment, I was going through a very transformative period, what I would call an awakening. A sort of like remembrance of a lot of the abuse that had happened to me as a child and that I'd regressed and sort of hadn't really worked through, had kind of like just like bottled up and wanted to not talk about, and just felt like I couldn't speak. And even inside my mind, when I would try to talk, I would like hear my own thoughts of telling me, no, you can't, just shame, all this kind of stuff, you know? So I'm at that same moment, right, in time. That's where you find me here in this story. And I just looked at it and I was just like, wow, you know, it just kind of really stuck to me. So I gave it to her. I ended up giving the one for kindness to the manager. And I don't know, I said a kind word to her, and she, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a kumbaya, like we all like smile in rainbows moment. The manager was still, she was a little bit like, you know, she was happy, but like, you know, whatever. And I think at the end of the day, the young girl, she was 19, and knowing that I saw myself again, like 19, and at one point I was like 19 with like 3 jobs, and it was just like a lot, you know? So it's like, I just remember being 19 and sort of like being at those points where, you know, where it's just that everything feels like it's coming at you at once, and I just didn't want her to run away with that, with not having any support. And I think, well, I know that there was some peace and there was some joy, and at least everybody had a little bit of a good snack, you know, in the afternoon. And for what it's worth, like, now is all we have. So in that moment, that was all they had. And I think that's important too. It's important to remember that, like, a lot of time we spend time thinking about the future, and I'm not talking about a lot of different things, but I just have to share my heart with you guys. Like, I think a lot of times we spend thinking and speaking about the past and the future. And it's like, right now, this moment, right here, right now, wherever you are, with your tea, with your coffee, in your bed, in your car, wherever, this is life. This is where it is. This is all there is. And if you're not enjoying it now, right now, in this moment, how your life is now, then what's the point? What's the point of like pining and working and doing all these things for some future that you don't even know is certain? It's like Jesus said, like, you know, like, don't worry about like what you're going to eat or drink, or, you know, the kingdom of heaven is what we should seek first. And then all these things will be added unto you. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. You know, and then God will inspire you to do things, and then do those things. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying be lazy. I'm not saying just sloth around and do nothing. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, do the divinely inspired things, and when you do those divinely inspired things, guess what? It doesn't feel like work. It feels like productivity, and productivity feels good. you like productivity. You like getting things done. You like feeling like, yeah, geez, accomplishment. That's great. We love that. Work, job, not so much, right? So like, why do that? Why not do what you love? And if you don't know what you love or feel like I can't do what I love, then that's that separation again. That's that thing that I mentioned before. That sometimes that's why we have to go and read what Jesus has to say over and over and over again. Because you're worthy of everything. And all that my Father has is yours. It's mine. It's ours. We're joint heirs. So when you begin to think about lack, and when you begin to think, well, I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, then you're going against what Paul says when he says, like, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So if I am in this consciousness where I started this kind of conversation talking about my daughter's room, and yeah, sure, right now it is also a closet and my recording studio, yes. But I don't come at it with that consciousness. I come at it with the understanding and the consciousness of me explaining to you where I was at the moment when I got here, which was this sort of hotel mentality. I think of this as a really, actually, quite fancy hotel. And that's where I'm at. Because I have a house full of things, and I'm just waiting for my house keys, truly. And that's where I'm at. So, I mean, if you happen to have those house keys for me, please send them. Because that's literally where I'm at. I just have so many things, and a home is all that's needed. And we can just expand this whole thing together. But until then, I know that, just like Jesus said, the birds of the field, they don't worry. The flowers, they're not to worry. We're not to worry. I'm not to worry. So I'm here to encourage you in not worrying. I'm here to tell you that even right now, and for me, what feels like a desert, so we'll start, maybe I'll call this episode Psalms 91, the desert. The warpath, right? I'm here with you, is what I'm trying to say to you. This is a really long introduction to Psalms 91. I'm here at 12:54 on September 20th, recording this for you guys. But I used to say this psalm all the time in my mind while I stood in formation when I was in the military, and when I was in times of fear and worry, and when everything around me seemed maybe to be coming in. And that's what this psalm is about. And this is long introduction is me telling you in a very long way that this is where I'm at with you right now. I'm here with you right now. I'm here in the trenches. I'm not coming at you from this place of fantastical phantasm of being in the White House and telling you guys over in Iraq it's going to be fine. No, I'm here with you. I'm here in theater. I'm doing it with you. And we're doing it together. And God's got it. I am he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, and abides under the shadow of the Almighty. And I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, and I will trust in Him. Surely He will deliver me from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He will cover me with His feathers, and under His wings I will take refuge. His truth will be my shield and buckler. I will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, or the destruction that walks in the darkness, or the pestilence that wastes at noonday. 1,000 will fall by my side, and 10,000 by my right hand, but none shall come nigh me. Only with my eyes shall I behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because I have made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, mine habitation. Therefore no evil shall befall me, nor any plague come near my dwelling. For He will give His angels charge over me, to keep me in all my ways. They will bear me up in their hands, lest I dash my foot against a stone. I will tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon, will I trample under feet. because I have set my love upon the Lord. Therefore he will deliver me. He will set me on high because I have known his name. I will call upon him, and he will answer me. He will be with me in trouble. He will deliver me and honor me. With long life will he satisfy me and show me his salvation.